Welcome everyone to another expansion team episode. Last week we had an interesting draft with the first overall pick spent on a tight end, Brock Bowers, and also other interesting draft players, some of which we already took a closer look at here in college football scouting, and that's what I wanted to start this episode with, looking at the new recruits, new freshman players for college who will be draft eligible in 3 to 4 years. So not someone for next year's NFL draft scouting, but interesting either way to see how the college way shapes out. Thomas WOLFF is the number one recruit 5-star player for Utah, 95 overall, a great quarterback, also awesome personality. So he will be a star. Some interesting wide receivers, and the best player in the class, strong safety, Nelson Monson for Alabama, 96 overall. Overall good players. And I already saw that Georgia was able to get another tight end, Charles Witt. So after losing Brock Bowers to the draft and to us, Georgia already tries to keep this tight end group alive. But other than that, some good running backs and safeties actually. I also saw one good edge player, Thomas Yu. We could use an edge, but he won't be eligible for next year's class. So with that said, let's take a closer look who is actually eligible for the draft. Quick update on quarterback. The best quarterback in the college world now is Thomas WOLFF. And as you can see in experience, not really anyone who's eligible. AJ Duffy is the best one. But it's gonna be a very, very difficult quarterback class, that's for sure. Thankfully, we don't need one. Same here for running back. I don't know if the initial roster was just not good enough. MELVIN BATEMAN, the best one, 24 years old. He will declare for the draft. We also thankfully don't need a running back. But yeah, it's really crowded with freshman players or sophomore players and not really seniors. So this and next year's draft is gonna be difficult. 2 tackles, so actually 3 tackles who will declare for the draft. I most likely won't sign a 26-year-old rookie, but we could use a tackle next year with players who are on the last year of the contract. Mike McGlinchey, for example. We cannot sign back everyone. Austin Berry might be a good option, awesome personality. And one of the better tackles here in the class, Jack Nelson, Wisconsin, 23 years old, also good work ethic. So these are 2 players we can, of course, remember for the draft. Wide receiver, as always, there are so many good players. And it's an interesting translation to the draft. We saw that Marvin Harrison Jr. was projected for round 2 to 3, was picked in round 1, thankfully. Otherwise, it would have been very unrealistic. But Lamar Sampson, the next Ohio State wide receiver, 98 overall. He could be a star, someone we can take a closer look at, especially with the stats. He had 19 and 23 touchdowns in the first 2 seasons. Last year only 10, but seemed to be also injured or not playing that much. Now without Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka, who we drafted, he will get more snaps and will be draft eligible, but also already 26 years old. Cornerback also not really worth mentioning. Drew Banks has next year as the first year of his eligibility. Unfortunately, not many juniors decline, or he's actually junior now, but 2 years experience. He already played 2 years, sure. So he can declare for the draft already, but I don't think that he's going to do that. Let's see. Not many good prospects for the draft. Some in the 90s, but no superstar, of course. Speaking of superstars, we have one maybe generational defensive player for next year's draft, Marvin Jones Jr. We will take a closer look at him. Outstanding personality, 98 overall, 91 tackling, 83 speed, really well-rounded, great intelligence. Only 21 years old, and looking at the stats, not really that impressive. He has really interesting skills, but yeah, in terms of defensive stats, not really. Not over 100 tackles, not much pass rush or interception. So I don't know if he just did not play a lot, but Marvin Jones, someone who could be a top 10 pick. So we can take a closer look at him, but unfortunately, he won't be a draft target for us. We don't have a first round pick. We can always trade for one, but that's going to be expensive. And the problem is also not many defensive tackles or edge players. We need edge help. I mean, we just signed Chase Young, but depending on how he's playing and how Will Anderson is gonna play, we could use some help. The best one, Omari Abor, 87 overall. Good personality. He's a speed rusher with 72 speed. Not sure. 5 sacks last year. So also interesting to see where he is going to end up. And Cyrus Moss did not play a snap yet. So yeah, does not really look too promising, the edge group. Same for free safety and strong safety. Also, thankfully, that we had a good free agency class coming in. Chris Sanchez from Alabama, the best one. Also here, great work ethic. Speed is fine, agility is fine. Overall, 90 and also good stats. So he might be a first round pick. And other than that, Amorion Smith, if I pronounce that correctly. Cool name. Could be a better personality. But also here, stats not that impressive. Great face, by the way. But also he is a free safety, the best strong safety. Let me quickly check. Not really anyone available here, so could be a really bad strong safety class. Sage Ryan, the best one. Also here, awesome personality. And yeah, stats could be better, but overall, the first really weak draft class, we have seen now a lot of familiar names. And yeah, most of the superstars from college are picked in the last 3 years in the draft. And now there's a transition period of 1 or maybe 2 years, depending on who's going to declare for the draft. There are a few options available for next year's draft, but especially on the D-line and O-line, it's gonna be a battle for the top talent. With that said, there is still one season to figure everything out. Now first, we hopefully need to make another playoff run and therefore win a few games in regular season. So back to the NFL. So let's start right away. Week 1 at home against the Houston Texans. And we start with a win. 83-20. 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions for Caleb Williams. That is, of course, not good at all. But yeah, I mean, 2 deep touchdowns, that's really nice. So Jalen Waddle, 3 touchdowns for him, 169 yards. But also Brock Bowers involved here in the passing game. And Bijan Robinson, that's exactly how I want to have it. Jalen Waddle, deep threat. We need to extend him. I just offered him a contract, and Cody Barton, interception and sack. Will Anderson also with a first sack in the first game. Really, really good. So let's rest of week 1 and hope that we have the first signings. There is a lot of contracts to do this season. And Marcus Peters is back. 1-year contract for him, 17 million if I remember correctly. And David Andrews not yet, Holcomb not yet, Okereke not yet, and Jalen Waddle not yet. These are my priorities. Both linebackers, really like them. center, wide receiver, and of course Marcus Peters. For our guard Wyatt Teller, I think I'm going to use the franchise tag. That's 2 million less and gives us still flexibility to first see where we at with the cap after signing those 5 players. So week 2, we play against the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's sim the week and hope that we get our second win. Yes, 40-10. This time, no interceptions for Caleb Williams. Good, because I don't want to have a problem with interceptions. Bijan and Tank Bixby, really great, adding touchdowns here. Jalen Waddle and Childs also with receiving touchdowns. Jalen Waddle over 80 receiving yards. And defensively, Marcus May, Cody Barton again, but still no Chase Young. 3 hurries, but no sacks so far. Where are we with the contract extensions? Nowhere, honestly. Still no one ready to decide. By the way, Jalen Waddle wants to have over 20 million. That is so expensive. But I mean, we just need him. He is the perfect wide receiver for Caleb Williams. So week 3 against the 2-0 Chicago Bears. And they are now 3-0. Oh, our first loss. Caleb Williams, 2 interceptions. Brock Bowers with a touchdown. And Igbuka with his first reception, maybe. At least with his first touchdown. And on the defensive side, I mean, not the biggest names here with sacks. And Chase Young is not good. I don't know what to say. He is not good, not worth the contract. And I don't know what the problem is. Oh, by the way, Jalen Waddle signed. Now, Okereke wants more money and David Andrews signed. So looking at the contracts, we are now at already 200 million for next year. What have I done? Okay. Yeah, not much flexibility, to be honest. Wyatt Teller, that's going to be at around 17 million. And yeah, I guess we cannot extend Derrick Brown. He won 16 million. I'd rather have one of the 2 linebackers. Maybe we can also get them in free agency. And we could free up some cap for by trading Chase Young, who's really not worth the money. Did Cole Holcomb? No, Cole Holcomb was not sure. So let's go with, where's the other one? Bobby Okereke. Regarding the stats, also not the best stats. Maybe we get someone better in free agency, not sure. 12 million, 2-year contract, starter, not front loaded, please. We need some money. Not sure what to do here. We are going to lose some key players, that is for sure. But now against the 0-2 Lions, we need to win this. And we do 20 in overtime. Caleb Williams, 3 touchdowns, one of them to Jalen Waddle, 1 to our fullback, and again, Igbuka with another touchdown reception. That is nice to see, and also nice to see that with the contract extensions due, Okereke and Holcomb both at sacks, and Chase Young with his first one. So maybe he gets nervous that and does not want to get traded. So injury report out for the season, CJ Henderson. That hurts us. That really hurts us. And linebackers, I could sign one. I don't know. And we can also free another 7 million by trading one of the free safeties we just added. Okay, I at least want to keep one of Okereke or Holcomb. The question now becomes which one. Both pretty similar and both great impact last season. Both 29 years old, both 87 overall. Regarding stats, I like the speed and tackling from Okereke. Is there a difference in personality? Great personality by Holcomb and great team player by Okereke. Let's go with 12-4, 2-year contract, starter. If he does not sign, I mean, yeah, we're gonna look into free agency for sure. And with the 3-1 record, let's quickly play the Titans again before checking in with college. 2-2 Titans would be important for us to win in Tennessee. Yes, we're 4-1, 31 points. Another great performance by our offense, and Brock Bowers 2 touchdowns. That's really nice to see. He is now at 91 overall. That is not bad. We could also give him some snaps on wide receiver, but yeah, he's a good tight end and really, really good here. Jalen Waddle, yeah, just such an important player for us. 2 sacks, Cody Barton, 1 Ripka. I think that's his second one. Our 6th round selection, yeah. Playing better than Chase Young. I mean, he's cheaper, so why not? Not the worst pick, actually. For a 6th round selection, rotational player, and Cole Holcomb signed. That is great news, and I won't sign back Bobby Okereke. We are now quickly checking the contracts, and we still need to add 17 million for Wyatt Teller. I want to keep the O-line together, and then yeah, we are at 234 million. Still need to sign the rookie class and give us some options on free agency market. That means that we are losing CJ Henderson, who is out for the season, unfortunately. Oh, he only wants 6 million. I don't know. Yeah, it's not playing that much. Maybe in free agency. We are going to lose Derrick Brown, so he was a kind of 2-year rental. We traded for him. No sacks for us so far. We're going to lose him for sure, but thankfully already drafted Mazie Smith and Mason Smith. We are going to lose also Mike McGlinchey. Totally forgot about that. But yeah, we just need a new tackle. I mean, I have a cap space, and there are limits to that. That really hurts. And other than that, CJ Ham, we are also going to lose, and Cody Barton also due. We don't have any players anymore. Already 5 sacks. That's really good. I want to sign him back. Yeah, maybe Cody Barton. Yeah, maybe I'm trying to give him 6 million. That could be enough, but other than that, there's a lot to do for us in free agency and the draft next year. The team is going to fall apart, but right now, looking at the standings, we are 4-1, and that means that we are tied with the Colts for the division lead. So before playing the next game, let's quickly check out the college. 5 weeks played, and we have a very interesting top 25. Oklahoma on top, then Houston, Louisville, Maryland, LSU. Clemson and Ohio State also top 10, same as Texas. We can also find Alabama in here, but no Georgia. We will take a closer look at them in a second. But yeah, interesting top 25, and Ohio State top 10. So Lamar Samson, is he a good player? Actually, not really. Only 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. he is not the reason for success, but one reason why they are successful is their quarterback, Robert Dayton. He is a senior, not the highest overall. That's why I was not able to see him. Also personality, not the best, but he leads all college football in yards and passing yards and also passing touchdowns. So at least one senior quarterback is performing, but for us, it's way more interesting to also look at other stats. For example, receiving yards. There we have another senior leading college, Octavian Smith Jr. And he is something special. Not because of the skills overall or speed or anything like that. He leads the league by far in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. He already has 12 touchdowns in 5 games, and it said he only started 1. Not sure what he's doing, but he's definitely playing for his life. Could be a top first round pick, second round pick, no idea where these wide receivers end up. But really interesting player, Octavian Smith, one name to mention for a really successful Maryland team. For sacks, we don't see any familiar name here. The highest rated senior is Logan LUTUI from BYU, only 78 overall, and that is not really translatable to the NFL, unfortunately. I remembered that I took a closer look at the league leader from college last year. He ended up being a 50 overall something in the NFL draft, or was undrafted. I had a look at him after that. Could be the same for Logan LUTUI, although he has really good stats. 14 sacks in 2023, now already 11 sacks in 5 games. So we will also take a closer look at him, especially with the personality. Might be a sneaky 6th round pick or something like that for us. And yeah, that could help us. We already drafted someone in the 6th round as a rotational player. So maybe Logan LUTUI can be the next person for us. As promised, closer look at Georgia, who are 1-3. Horrible performance offensively and defensively. I don't really want to take a closer look at what happened or why. I guess Brock Bowers is missing. I really want to take a closer look at their superstar linebacker Marvin Jones, who is not really able to make an impact. 3 passes deflected, so that's good. But also many catches allowed. Really seems to play in a coverage position. Not really edge rush, so it could be that Georgia is just not using him right. I think he could be a really good edge rusher. And yeah, someone we could use, of course. I don't know if he's still a first rounder, if the game really looks more at the skills ratings or at the stats. But yeah, so far for week 5 of the college year, will be interesting to see where the top 25 is after a few more games. But first, back to the NFL. Back from the college update, back to the NFL. 4-1 Wolverines against the 1-4 Cleveland Browns. Need to be a win for us, and we do so really good, really important. And yeah, Bijan, great performance. And also St. Brown, his first touchdown. Of course, also not going to sign him back, unfortunately. Holcomb with 2 sacks. He is going to be back for next year. And Cody Barton still trying to sign him. We are in cap hell, and that was the advantage. And yeah, Cody Barton signed. That's good. So we at least keep 2 key linebackers, but now also Marcus Peters is out for the season. We do not have any cornerbacks left. That is not good. I just wanted to say we keep 2 key linebackers and we're going to lose many other players. Now, when we keep Wyatt Teller, maybe I should just not keep Wyatt Teller to give us more flexibility and sign someone else back. Mike McGlinchey, maybe? No, not paying 15 million. No, I'm keeping my options open for free agency and maybe tagging Viola. Maybe that could also be a tag and trade option. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to do the decision now. But now with the cornerbacks out, actually, looking at the depth chart, we are pretty thin in the secondary. Mike Hughes still here. Devin Coles, other than that, not so sure. So I guess, Marcus May is also injured. How long? Okay, he's only doubtful. I guess one of our free safeties needs to play corner. Winfield not really able to do that. Grant also not really able. 82, 86, and Winfield has 80, 88. Let's put Richie Grant here on corner. That really hurts, unfortunately. But we just need someone to play there. We don't have many options. Devin Coles, of course, will step in, and also Jeremy Lucien. But Richie Grant with 8 interceptions last year for the Falcons. Now maybe our last hope. Don't know. We are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 2-4 and get another win against us. 5-2 for us. Jalen Waddle with the touchdown, and defensively, not really able to get anything done. That's not good. We need to get to the quarterback. We need more sacks, and of course it really hurts us that 2 cornerbacks are out. Caleb Williams was also a little bit injured. Let's see if there is a free agency corner available. We need help there. Quickly checking for cornerback. Okay, there are options. Avonte Maddox, Cam Taylor-Britt. Not too much in interceptions. Cam Taylor-Britt, 4 interceptions last year. That looks good. So let's add him to the team and change the depth chart that our safety can play safety again. I don't think that this was the best option to put Richie Grant on safety, but we just needed someone. Cam Taylor-Britt, and now here maybe Devin Coles, and 4th option could be then Richie Grant. And for the second package, let's do the same. Cam Taylor-Britt here, Devin Coles here, and Richie Grant. Where are you? Here. We need the flexibility. We really do, and we need someone who's able to cover. A lot of injuries, unfortunately, but looking at the dashboard, we are a top 5 offense in terms of passing, scoring, and yards, and also defense looks good. Cody Barton with most sacks and only 1 interception. That's just not good enough. We need those turnovers. It's just not going to happen. Really, really unfortunate. So we have a bye week in week 8 that really helps us, that players are getting healthy again. Now week 9 against the Baltimore Ravens. Let's sim the game. And we are 6-2. Important win, really important win. Nearly a comeback by the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, great game. Caleb Williams, a little bit better. Also Bijan with a lot of yards and 2 touchdowns. Brock Bowers finally adds another one. And Okereke, great game. Fortunately going to lose him. And Chase Young. Not really good here. He is not able to get to the quarterback, and I really don't know what our problem is. Also, no impacts from the defensive tackles as far as I've seen. Neither one of them, so also not Derrick Brown. So we can just keep the cheaper options. Week 10, Green Bay Packers, who are 5-2, so they are able to come back, and they are now 6-2. After having the first overall pick, now they beat us. I'd rather have the first overall pick than the win, but yeah, Brock Bowers, awesome game. He just showed the Packers what they gave us, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 sack for Cole Holcomb. Other than that, yeah, I don't know what we're doing defensively. Not any turnovers. Again, injuries. The center is out. Our rotational edge is out. And all of our 3 defensive tackles are also battling injuries. Week 11, we need to win against the Minnesota Vikings. We are 6-3. That's not too good if we lose this game. And we win. That was really important. Caleb Williams, 3 interceptions is not good. Brock Bowers, 2 touchdowns and 1 to Tommy Tremble. So Caleb Williams likes our tight ends. Great for him. Let's quickly check out his stats. 8 games started, 9 touchdowns, nearly 600 yards. I'm not sure if that's worth the first overall pick, but good offensive weapon for us. And defensively, I don't know what to say, honestly, to that. Our team is going to look very, very different next year. And this might be one last chance for us to win the title. We are in the bye week, and we're going to use the bye week to end this episode. I will, of course, go through the bye week, but then have the college update to round up the episode. And then the final stretch of the season against 3 division opponents is going to be something for next week. So let's go through week 12 bye week. So good news, we cannot lose here. Bad news, we also cannot get a win. Looking at the standings and our AFC South, we are on top of the division, but just barely. Wow, how good is this division? We are 7-3. Jaguars 6-4, Texans 6-5, and Colts 6-5. And we're playing the Colts twice. Yeah, I mean, you could say the second part of the season is going to matter, or not the second part, the last third, basically. But still, Chargers best team in the NFL, actually. Yeah, not only the AFC, but the whole NFL. And for us, that is going to be a very, very difficult challenge to win this division and get into the playoffs. We are on a good pace right now. 7-3 is not too bad. So let's see where we can go next week with all those injuries. But yeah, before ending the episode, let's quickly take another look at the college. All right, here we are, week 13, 11 games played for most of the teams. And Oklahoma is still leading the top 25, 11-0. Houston also still in the top 25. Then Texas, followed by Alabama. So at least some good teams in here. Houston, very interesting. And yeah, what's wrong with Ohio State? They dropped to 3 losses now. 23 ranked, and Georgia not in here. We saw the horrible start that they had, got a little bit better. They are now 6-4, as you can see now. So at least they were able to get some wins. Does that mean that their star wide receiver is also performing better? Marvin Jones still at a 98, but unfortunately still no sacks, no interceptions, no hurries. Still only 5 passes deflected, but many more catches allowed. I don't really know what his role is. Also not that many tackles. He is not having a good year. Really not. That could really hurt his draft stock, which could be good news for us, but I don't know. I have not seen the draft class yet. I mean, makes sense. But still very interesting to see, and also now taking a closer look at what happened for Ohio State. What's wrong with LAMAR Samson? Has he by now have a bigger role? No, only 5 touchdowns, still 675 yards. Not a good year for him, so maybe not wide receiver 1 in the draft. Also, Octavian Smith dropped a little bit down. Now Torrey Cook, the new senior who leads the college world in receiving yards for receiving touchdowns. Octavian Smith still has a lead. Is now at 17, so was not quite able to build up on the awesome start he had in the first 5 games. But still 17 touchdowns is really good. Not so good is the edge outlook. No one in the top 10 is a senior. Joshua Dooley is a junior. He might commit for the draft. 88 overall. And he's already on my radar because of these numbers. I wrote his name down already 1 or 2 years ago. 22 sacks in the first year, then 14, now 21. With this performance, he might declare early, and then we need to give up a lot to get him. We need edge help. We could definitely see that this season. So let's hope that Joshua Dooley declares or does not declare and we have a bad pick next year. Still don't know. I mean, there's still a lot of college and NFL football to play. With the interesting playoffs times coming ahead, that will be something for next episode, to follow the college football playoffs and the NFL playoffs, and of course the rest of the regular season. Will be very interesting where we end up and which college prospects are available to draft for us in round 2. Until then, I wish you a great week. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you next time. Bye bye.